Yo,
Yo,
yo, how's it going, man?
chilling.
Nice.
Uh, yeah, looking forward to it. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I still I have a little bit of like a cough kind of left over from being sick a little bit ago, but otherwise I'm fine.
Honestly,
So
honestly, same.
if I have to
Literally
cough
same.
or sound a little bit off, that's why. but
All good.
otherwise feeling great, and I'm excited to do this lesson. Sorry it didn't work out last time. Pretty excited to do some VOD review with you and talk about the game.
Hell yeah. The second one I sent was from a ranked set that I lost against a sheep player. The first one I just found like a random recent loss against a fox, so I don't actually remember that specific game.
Okay,
But we can do either one.
Okay. Yeah. So like, I kind of want to get a gauge on like where you're at mentally, or
Sure.
like what you're thinking, or like what you're trying to get out of the lesson and stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I am in general just trying to like, I guess, enter like the next skill echelon.
Okay.
Like I feel like I've been very slowly improving, but yeah, I'm just like I'm realizing that there's a caliber of player that like there's some overlap, but that I'm not always taking. I'm trying to make more upsets, I guess, and I want to just like be more consistent in general and just like get better neutral and all that stuff.
Okay. And like when you've watched the videos of you against like better players or whatever,
Mhm.
um, why do you feel like you do you feel like there's like a typical reason why you lose? Do you feel like you're it's like something very obvious, or do you feel like it's kind of confusing?
I think it's usually a mixture of like getting nervous and fucking up execution or um, making some sort of like neutral mistake, like overextending or not paying close enough attention to their spacing. I feel like it's not usually that I get mixed up by something totally random that I had no clue existed, as much as it is like I am either not being patient enough or I'm kind of just like playing a little bit too frenzied, especially in the last game.
Okay. Okay, and let's see. Do you feel like it's matchup specific or just kind of across the board?
Mm, there definitely are certain matchup things, but in general, I'd say it feels pretty across the board. Um,
Okay, like you feel like you
yeah,
lose kind of in similar ways across the board.
in general, I'd say so. Um, yeah, I think it feels pretty standard across.
Okay. Um yeah, so like if I watch this game, I'm not sure if you like rewatched it or you know exactly what's gonna happen here.
Not this one. No, no, I don't remember this one specifically,
Okay.
but the other one I remember a little better.
Okay, I'm just gonna check this one out really quick and
Sure.
just kind of
Yeah.
see what I see, and if I feel like there's not enough info to really go off of, we'll check the other one really quick.
Cool.
And if you have any thoughts while I'm watching it, feel free to let me know.
Okay.
Small note, I think this is actually pretty important against Fox in like 2026.
Mm.
Is like if you manage to get a power shield, you got to down smash this. Like
Yeah, for
power
sure.
shield down smash is so important. I actually think
Sure.
it's like the only way Peach will survive against modern Fox is with power shield down smash.
Yeah. No, that makes
The only one who does it really well so far is Laud.
Lot is crazy with the partial down smashes. But
Okay.
feels like probably just a DI thing, right?
Sort of. I mean, you played out a bunch of situations right ahead of the time where you died, like with sort of without like a lot of intention. You were just kind of like, oh, I'll just kind of like hit him.
Yeah, yeah,
Like so far, it's kind of been like the fox just sort of making a situation happen, and you just sort of play it out with them without. Now it's separating out a little bit, but I feel like it was very much like you're down to like let him force the scramble every time.
sure. Yeah, I missed also those air. I remember missing a lot of those in this game, like when he's off stage and I'm floating, trying to hit the nair of the back air, just like fucking up the timing.
Okay, have definitely noticed a few moves you've done that haven't been real combo starters. I think you got to be
Mm.
really careful against Fox with that. I'm sort of like thinking of stuff that like I'm kind of taking notes about stuff that will be just against Fox, but then like I'm
Mhm.
gonna. You said the other VOD is against a different character, right?
Sheik.
Okay, okay, that's good.
But I have other. I can give other Fox if we want to focus on Fox. Oh, these rolls are killing me.
I definitely am seeing something here, but I haven't quite narrowed it down yet. Hmm. Okay, yeah. Let me think. Let me keep watching it. I think like the way you're playing neutral definitely feels very odd
Okay.
for Peach Fox and for Peach kind of in general, but especially Peach Fox. Um, what do you? How do you feel when you're playing neutral in this matchup? Like, what are you thinking?
I don't know if I get like. It really depends. It kind of depends on the specific Fox player. I feel like I respond more to player than matchup oftentimes. Um,
Okay.
so like I don't know. I feel pretty good in the game plan in general for people like at or below my level, but that's kind of the thing. It's like when I'm trying to play higher level people, it doesn't always.
Yeah, like I kind of have this feeling that you're like trying to sort of make general good things happen and then convert those into the plan.
Mm,
Whereas I feel like, and so I think what happens is against people who don't have their own version of the plan that they're trying to force on you,
yeah,
then like that'll kind of work out because you'll like find your plan from the ether more often than they'll find their plan. But somebody who's like trying to force a certain plan on you, it feels like
mm,
you are not like fighting hard enough for your own stuff. Um,
sure, okay.
so like I think the best way to think of Peach in neutral against Fox is you want to feel threatening to hit. You don't really
Yeah,
need to worry about hitting Fox, because like essentially you just have to give him some reason to not randomly press buttons on you.
sure,
and I
sure.
think and I think that like from what I'm watching, you're not really sticking to that very well. Um, so like I think that like a good way to think about it is that every time you think Fox might interact with you, you
Mm,
want one of his major options to lead to his death. So, for example, like preemptively shielding in a spot where you think you can get the down smash, or
mm-hmm.
short hopping in a spot, like short hopping to like a short hop float height, like short
Yeah,
hopping into drill, so that if he does drill, you land first and you grab him.
sure,
Um,
yeah. Mm,
or CC into whatever, or stuff like that, or like you throw out a certain up air so that like if Fox full hopped, you kill him. Um, and I think that like every single time you interact with Fox, for the most part, Fox at zero, whatever. There's a bunch of spots where you can't like guarantee a perfect combo, but like over for the overwhelming like majority of the time, when I see an interaction happen between you, I should be able to like determine which one of Fox's options you were trying to kill. Because and then like
right.
if he does one of the other options, that's when you worry about like, oh, I'm gonna SDI out and I'm gonna try to play this like scramble, or I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna down smash or jab or wave dash away, whatever. You know what I mean? But like, I should still see like, okay, so like the fair is fine. That's just like an aggressive starter. We're all good here. You're trying to kill him. Um, don't see a ton of value in the back air, but it's low percent. It's not a huge deal. There's a few more points that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of fighting him up here, but like Why? Is it part of your game plan to fight Fox on the side plat? Like
No, not particularly.
it just feels like it's kind of like a losing spot, and
Mm.
like it's this is why, because what I feel like is happening, already happened a couple times this game, is you feel a spot where you're pressured, and then
Mm-hmm.
you get this reaction that like, well, you don't just want to run away because it's kind of vulnerable, and like
Yeah.
also can feel kind of predictable to just run away every time Fox is kind of threatening you, and so you like you like fight back against that feeling by attacking.
Right. Right.
But I think like the key is like, yeah, I'm gonna run away, but if you try to chase me with the move that I am reading, I will kill you. Because you don't actually need to defend against all of them. You just
Mm-hmm.
need to get Fox to question whether the one they picked, like their 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4, is the one that you picked. And because if you can do that, then like you can dash into Fox's range.
Mm.
For example, you can dash into Fox's range, and he'll like have this thought that like Peach can't do that. Like I'm faster than Peach. I'm gonna just attack her. And he's like,
Right.
wait, which move was I gonna use? Drill,
Sure.
shine, nair. Like they all have counters, and if you kind of give off this impression that you're like you're ready and you're looking for one, and you mix up which one it is often enough, Fox will feel significantly more intimidated from hitting you.
Yeah.
Like if Laud is kind of just dash dancing and dashing towards me, I don't feel comfortable doing any of my moves in particular because
Mm-hmm.
each of those moves could be countered. Sure, I can hit him, but like
Yeah.
he's gonna have his defense after that point. It's hard to zero death Peach. A lot of times she can float out and reset and stuff like that, and
Sure.
so like you end up in this awkward spot where like if Peach guesses right, she gets her big Peach combo, and if she
Right.
guesses wrong, then like you need to make as much out of your hit as you can and try to make up for the fact that like she's gonna hit you hard when she guesses right. And if Fox kind of gets reversaled out of a lot of stuff like Nair, drill, stuff like that, shine, like
Yeah.
floating into shine, down smash, and so it's like in the ideal case where Fox doesn't make any mistakes, then he's still dealing with this powerful mix up that you have. And
Right.
like I think until you have established that mix up, all of your pressure and movement and stuff is not really worth anything. Because like yeah, like you're threatening to back air Fox here, but it doesn't actually do anything. like here. It's like, okay, we could have wave dash down CC'd and killed him, or we could have
Mm-hmm.
tried to like jump into a down air and gotten naired, and he wouldn't really be able to punish us big out of that anyway. Or we could have
Yeah.
wave dashed to the side and tried to dash attack, and it's like, well, wave dash to the side dash attack, that feels like it's kind of committal and stuff. And it's like, well, it is. It might not be as good as some of the other stuff necessarily, but if you hit the dash attack and the dash attack
Right.
does beat some of his stuff, you're beating him up.
Yeah. No, that makes so much sense.
So
'Cause,
I think like yeah,
yeah.
sorry, what were you gonna say? Continue.
No, I was just gonna say that I've like because I've been talking to some other folks as well, and that's a piece of feedback that I've gotten a lot too. Is like sometimes I too often am trying to convert a bad situation as opposed to like just getting the fuck out or like taking space or something. And it's like yeah, it's just reinforcing that idea. And then also I feel like for the last maybe year or two, I've been working on like getting the answers to a lot of these common options, like learning what the answers actually are. And now I feel like I know what most of them are, at least on a baseline level. But like implementing them is where I need to work on it now because it's like all the options that you said just now were like yeah, totally, I know about that. But then in the moment, I think pairing the knowledge with the sort of practical, in-game choices.
Right. Yeah, I think one thing that can help a lot is just trying to look at scrambles more from the Fox perspective.
Okay.
Because I think like he just has so much more control than you in like a scramble because he can like retreat so fast and like full
Yeah.
hop and all this stuff that like it's just significant. Like the way the situation looks to you doesn't like the way the situation looks to the Peach specifically doesn't really matter that much because you're like, ooh, I could hit him with this, and he full hopped, so I lost.
Mm.
Like what you see with your eyes as the scramble starts is actually not that relevant in terms of like you picking your move choice. It's like,
Yeah.
well, maybe I'll jab because he was close or something. It's like,
Right.
and it's like, yeah, well, Fox has counters to all this stuff, and so it's sort of like, all right, we listed out of like, all right, we're in this weird scramble. I don't really want to be in a weird scramble against Fox as Peach. I would much prefer to be like, he's guaranteed to be on one side of me, and I'm kind of zoning him out with my aerials and wave dash backs and stuff like that, slowly moving in. So I don't really want to play the scramble. He
Mm.
wants to play the scramble a lot more, and like because he can just retreat from the scramble too. And so like that's why I think like you like looking at it from like which move looks juiciest to Fox in this moment,
Yeah.
it is so good. And even at like top level, I think the best players, like the best non-spacey players, have to get like really really good at this.
Hmm.
Like Mars and stuff, Sheik's also. But it's so much of like you if you can just create. I always tell people if you can create the feeling in any Fox that the most clear option will get them killed, most Foxes will immediately drop down like a full level.
Sure. Hmm.
Because like so much of their stuff is based on this idea of like my frame data is better, my character's
Hmm.
faster, they have better mix-ups and stuff like this. And so there's so especially like at lower level, there's a lot of spots where they're just like, oh, that's the nair. You're like, really? Like no thought at all, that's just the nair. And
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, I'm close to you at this range, you're getting naired. And it's like, I think like even if a really good Fox will not dodge, sorry, even if a really good Fox will not get hit by your counter to that nair, they like will recognize it. So like a Fox that
Yeah.
jumps in and nairs will get down smashed or grabbed. And the Fox that dash dance to see what you did will watch you crouch for a second and then wave dash back and have this feeling of like, ooh, good thing I didn't do my automatic nair.
Yeah. Totally.
And like
Right.
now you've created a question in their mind of like, oh man, I gotta watch out when I nair. You create this feeling of when I see the position where it's good to nair, that means the Peach is expecting it, so I can't nair.
Sure.
And already you've like removed so many of the advantages of Fox as a character. Like as
Yeah.
soon as they're like, well, I have better frame data here, but I still question it. In fact, I must. You're like, yes,
Right.
like I got you. And
That
so
sort of
like
makes me think of that Triff Moki set from whatever it was from fucking Egg Dog, where Triff just absolutely ran over Moki, and it feels like his early set he was kind of like just instilling that doubt, which sort of becomes fear, right? And then once you
yeah,
have that at Peach, you kind of are just like, fucking him up.
exactly, because you're like, okay, so like I moved into your range where you really want to nair me, but you're afraid to, or you're questioning it. Usually, questioning is just enough. Like you were
Mm,
saying, the questioning leads to the fear, because
yeah,
the questioning of whether it's a good option causes them to stop and think for a second. Because like if they just threw something out, they'd probably be playing into your plan. So they're forced to wait for a second, which
sure,
gives you the time to set up your approach and your spacing, and a lot of times can push them into the corner because they're waiting for you. And now you're
right,
in a position where you have real pressure, and so it'll be like you do your real pressure. Maybe they play really well out of it and they get out, and you just run at them again, and they're like, "Well, I'm still not confident hitting her," you know.
right,
And like
right.
when I am feeling like I am playing against a Peach as Fox, I feel it from both ends, but I feel it especially more from the Fox end. That
Mm,
like that is the way that Peach wins. Is like every time I'm like, man, I just can't really hit them. Like everything I do is they're just kind of ready for, unless it's really
yeah,
tricky. Then like
right,
more often than not, I will just get like insta float nair on shield jabbed and jab
yeah,
grabbed or something like that because I'm like
right.
thinking so hard about like not giving you this obvious option.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I was watching back that Glasper set at the last McLeod that I went to, and like, I honestly still watching it back can't believe that I won it because I was literally down every single game, and
Mm-hmm.
I think part of it was like, nerves, whatever. But like I think part of it is what you're saying, where there were a few key moments where I was able to like punish him coming in with something seemingly obvious, and then the doubt sort of seeps in.
Yeah, I mean, low key, I think like Glasper's like the perfect case study of that. Of
Mm,
like either he's confident and does the obvious thing, or he's unconfident and gets worse.
sure,
No
sure.
offense to Glasper, I love the guy, but that is like a typical Glasper like thing where like I feel like he sort of personifies the type of player that is most affected from playing this way. Because if
Mm,
he wants to randomly, and he's a good execution test, because if you do it slightly wrong, he'll just spam on you anyway.
yeah,
Um, but I think that like that is the idea, and I think that like if you watch back Pro Peach Fox with
yeah.
this idea, you'll see it constantly. Like you will see Pro Peach player floats in, Fox dashes back, Peach player fares and lands, and now the Fox is like a decent distance away. And now you have to play this landing mix up, right?
Right,
But they'll just like, well, I land out of my fair and I dash in and I crouch, and now it's Fox's move. And like,
right.
one of my choices, like one of his choices will get destroyed. Whether it is full hop, getting up aired, or nared, or nair, the options I've already been over, and Peach could get shield grabs on the early nairs, like if you get a little bit closer to him and get a shield up. But the idea is like you should have this like I'm gonna get closer to you, but you're just like arms out, like ready to like counter at any moment. Like you're just
Mm,
kind of moving closer to him, like come on, take your
yeah,
swing, like I'm ready. And then eventually, when you get close enough, you're like, oh, okay, I can finally fight you.
yeah,
But like, there's a good distance where you just have to walk at him. Like, go ahead. Like the second you try to get me from this range, I will get you.
yeah. That totally makes sense. I have a
Yep,
question.
go for it.
Um, because like as I'm sort of, I guess, on this in this part of the journey where I'm like trying to get better or whatever, like when I'm playing against people who are worse than me or at my level, like right square, like it feels very evenly matched. I feel like what you're saying is like where I excel, like specifically. Like I feel like I'm actually quite good at that when I'm playing against like lower level players.
Mm-hmm.
But that same thing, like it sort of inverts when I'm playing against someone that I perceive to be better. Like I suddenly am the one who's like doubting and or playing like doing one thing wrong or getting punished for one obvious thing and then just like being in a state of doubt for the rest of the set.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, yeah, I'm wondering like just as I'm like practicing, right? Uh as far as implementation, like do you have any tips for how to actually put this stuff in game?
Yeah. I think that the rate. I think that okay, so first of all, it's always easier to do anything against easy, like worse players. Any sort of
Yeah,
game
for
plan,
sure.
whatever, you feel a lot freer. There's a lot. The biggest one is that there's a lot less consequences for making
Mhm.
errors, and in this case, it's even like more subtle, where there are a lot less consequences for not doing the right thing. So like, I don't feel like you necessarily like when I play you, for instance, I don't.
Mhm.
It's not necessarily like well, you do the good stuff, and then sometimes you make these big mistakes. That's
Mm.
not really what it feels like. It feels like you do the good stuff, and then sometimes you decide to do the less good stuff. like
Oh,
or
whoa, interesting.
like it feels like you're and like that's kind of what I was saying here. It's not like these scrambles you're doing are like horrible, but they're
Mm.
not really like what you wanted. And so
Right.
it feels like you kind of it's not like you waver between good and bad stuff. It's like you waver between good and mid. And like
Mm.
and there's and like the the difference is it's a lot harder to stick. So like let's say you're playing against a fox and you try to do this wave dash back crouch to beat their approaching nair, and they just perfectly read it and they cross up drilled you, and then they do this big combo out of it. It would be really, really, really easy to just kind of forget about the plan and be like, we gotta
Yeah.
just fight. We gotta fight. Hold, like, what is happening? Like, this is so intense. Like, I made one bad choice and he killed me. And it's like, it takes a lot of, like, planning and thought to like go back in your head and be like, no, that wasn't a bad choice. That was actually part of the mix-up that I have accepted when I made my game plan for this matchup.
Right.
And like to continue doing the stuff that is really good rather than like kind of getting thrown off. Because like, I don't know, like for instance, in our last set, it felt like the first stock you started out playing pretty good. And then like as the set dragged on, you kind of like more and more started just playing for whatever position was in front of you rather than playing for like hard counter into kill.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's because you went for a few counter into kills and they didn't work, and then that kind of had a tendency to like throw you off a little bit.
That totally tracks. That like feels very true.
And so like versus somebody who's like a little bit worse than you, when you have a minute of peak and then a minute of mid and then a minute of peak again, you're like, man, that was 2 peaks. Like that was 2 minutes of peak. And then versus somebody who's good, maybe you did the same thing, but you lost the game during your minute of mid. And then like the second minute of peak that came back wasn't enough to make the comeback. And then afterwards you're like, man, I did 2 minutes of peak during that game and I still got owned. And it's like, well, it's not really about that. It's about like every time you did other stuff. And like I feel like in Melee it's really easy to lose sight of the most important stuff and how much it actually affects the match. Like how much this little stuff affects the match compared to the stuff we actually care about. Of like, I don't know, this happens to me, it happens to a lot of Fox players where like they will play a perfect Fox stock and then have zero awareness or thought during the opponent's invincibility and immediately get like die and the stock gets traded. And it's like, it's difficult to be like, well, I was perfect, but the stocks are even. Like, what did I do wrong? And it's like, it's easy to throw yourself off rather than being like, well, that was all perfect except for that part where I let them get me, which brought it back to even. So like, you might do a lot of good stuff against a good player, but still lose because it wasn't all that you did. And like against somebody, the better people get, the more stuff that you do that like isn't really really good. Like let's say I play Cody, and like let's say I'm playing really hot, and he's also like playing super cracked, and like during the set, I land 3 stray back airs, and what's wrong with a stray back air? I don't get reversaled. I don't get punished for it, anything. But then I lose the set. And, like, as I'm, like, a mid-high-ish level player, you would definitely watch and be like... You would watch for some other reaction. Oh, I should have DI'd out here. Or some other position. Like, oh, I should have DI'd out. Oh, I shouldn't have died here. When, like, the reality is that, like, you got the 3 openings that you needed to win that set.
Right.
But they were stray backers. And so, like, against somebody slightly worse than you, those 3 backers feel like they actually built towards your victory because you didn't experience negatives. But against a player who is just as good or better, like, those 3 opportunities where you back-aired them, maybe they big comboed you. And now, like, even like, you got 3 openings and they got 1, but you back-aired them 3 times and they killed you out of theirs. Then like suddenly that it just is like, well, I lost because I did damage and didn't get punished. And so it's just like, because that was a position where I had some kind of win, but I didn't make enough out of it. And the better the opponent is, they're going to give you a lot less wins to work with. So that
that makes so much sense. It's
okay,
like
okay,
set,
great.
Yeah, totally. Like I'm thinking about sets that I've lost, especially sets that I've lost against like, like really good players, PR people, or top 100 people. It's like exactly that. Oftentimes I'm like, I don't even feel like I played like shit. I feel like I was playing generally pretty well.
Yeah, you were kind of getting them a lot of time. That's how it always feels.
Yeah, exactly.
And
that makes a lot of sense.
As Fox, I've dealt with that a lot of times as Falco, where I have this little buzzer in my head that goes off because, like, I feel like there's a lot of times where it's very easy to get, like, stray back airs and stuff on Falco and not actually finish the stock because of his recovery. And like, as Fox. And so, like, there's just, like, a lot of sets that I've had where I will feel like I am absolutely destroying the Falco and I'm losing the set because every time they shine me, they kill me. And I need 12 back airs to win the set, but I feel
Right.
like I'm winning because I keep outplaying every position. And
Yeah.
like as you get to a higher level, that just becomes like more and more relevant all the time. And so like I've actually talked to a bunch of people about this within the last few months, just that like the difference between like mid high level and high level is just like doing the good stuff with less exceptions.
Yeah.
Of like, well, I do the good stuff, except here, and I kind of maybe get them here, and it's like all the maybes and all kind of and stuff that has no place at the top, you know.
Right.
That's all stuff for people down there who are like, well, I have to make the best of what I have, and it's like, man, if you're at the top of the world making the best with what you have, that's a bad sign. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you want everything to be like, aha, like I got them here. I think Laud is like he's just perfect. I think Triff does stuff well in a lot of spots too. I think Triff does some stuff a lot better than Laud,
Hmm.
but I feel like the way Laud does it, like Triff will kind of have this feeling that like hitting him is kind of dangerous,
Hmm.
but I think like Laud does the best job out of the Peaches that I have played of like he's just not overcomplicating it. He's just like, well, I'm
Yeah.
sitting here. Like, I moved to this position. You want to
Totally.
try? I'm like, no, not really. And he's like, all right, well, I got big pressure then. and
Yeah. Yeah.
and
That
he just
definitely
sticks
makes sense.
to it. Like, I think, if you watch Lod's play at, in Tokyo, I think he did a great job at that event of like,
Yeah.
he was like, I got inspired as a Fox player watching
Mhm.
Laud at that event, and it was just because there was, it's just all these spots like, well, you're afraid of losing this position, and he's like, well, I'm just gonna do the good thing, and it's like, really, like, aren't you afraid of doing the good thing? He's like, no,
Mhm.
that's the best thing I've got. I'll do it, and I'll do it well, and I'm just like, wow, like he just like continuously stays in this mentality
Yeah.
despite there being a bunch of spots where it feels like he should kind of give it up and like maybe like mash a few buttons, and he just holds it. And like
Yeah.
the amount of spots that like it's like you feel like, wow, he did nothing there. I feel like he could have done something, and you're like, well, he didn't do anything mid or bad at all. The opponent
Right.
didn't punish him for doing nothing there, and now he's about to do his good thing. So there's just like a bunch of spots where he just kind of like doesn't do anything that important, but he's
Yeah.
like, but this wasn't one of the critical moments, and like you're not gonna try anything against me, so and like against like Zayd or something, it'll just work. Whereas like I feel like in that same spot, for instance, like my Peach,
Hmm.
I would have tried to play the plan, and they just get in that one spot, and I'm like, fine, dash attack. Like, I bet I can
Yeah.
dash attack you here.
Exactly.
And Law's just like, I don't need the dash attack. In 30
Yeah.
seconds, I will get a grab.
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. It's also
So,
just making me realize that I two things. One is that like obviously I need to be going to more stuff, like just be going to more events in general, and then also I think I just need to be playing against better people. Like
mm-hmm.
most of my melee is just like trolling unranked. Like I'm barely playing ranked these days,
You gotta play
and
some
I like
ranked.
don't really
Ranked is
play
actually
IRL.
much healthier now than it was like a year ago. I,
Ranked?
I feel like the ranked crowd is much more chill these days.
Well, I mean that's good. I mean I've been wanting to get back in there.
And I think ranked is just really useful for letting you play players that are like reasonably around your skill level.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
because I think like, and this is sort of an aside, but this is kind of like what I was talking to Glasper about recently after some of his sets. That like he spends so much time doing the stuff that he wants to do, not the stuff that he should do, because he's playing
Mm,
against worse players. So there's like this feeling that like, well, I know I should do this. I shouldn't try to just mash here. And he'll, but like this player is really bad, and it actually takes less effort to beat them with this mash thing that I want to do. That is like preferable to me, like from a subjective standpoint. And then
right.
what happens is he gets in the tournament against me, and he's trying really hard to play this careful, good plan. And every time at all that he gets thrown off, his subconscious will just like he'll just get kind of freaked out for a second and start
Yeah.
spamming on me like an idiot. And it's
Yeah.
because he's like conditioning himself to spam on people in general. So
Hmm.
I think there's like actually a certain point that I usually talk about, where you reach a certain skill level where like playing bad players won't make you worse, and it's because you just keep doing the good things regardless of who is on the screen.
Right.
But I feel like up to that point, and like definitely at the level you're at, like playing worse players will actively make you worse at the game. Even though you're practicing, it will make you like significantly worse.
Yeah.
um,
I mean that tracks.
and like the reason is just there's so many things you need to be like. I need to CC down smash, and you're like, well, this guy was like really slow after CC after he nared, so like the CC down smash worked, and then the good player shields it or something like that, and you just kind of need all that stuff like in your hands that like
Sure.
that the other player is gonna be just as good. So I think like playing ranked, I think like hitting up better players to like play. Like I think you could hit up like Breakfast or
Mm.
Casper or something like that. Like hit up those guys. I feel like everybody from SoCal is mad chill, and
Yeah.
so like I think those guys would be like down to practice with you because then it's like all right, well at least I have stuff that works against those guys and I can work my way up from there.
Right.
But if it's just really easy to get like false positive in this game, like
Totally.
really like way too easy.
And I've been finding that a lot too, because like I'm also, oh, I lost, how do I,
What's up?
sorry, I'm going to Discord. There we go. Yeah, I mean like one of my goals, because last year is in 2025. I didn't have really any time. I was just like out so much that I like truly didn't have time to go to shit. Um, this year I'm gonna be in town a little bit more, and like I want to aim towards SoCal PR if I can
Yeah,
like
that's super feasible
crack
for
it.
sure.
I think that I can make it happen. I just
I
have to
mean,
like.
Danny made SoCal PR, and I think did you beat him last time?
I think I won last time. I think we're pretty even.
Yeah, and I
It's
think you
either
won like
we're
last
never two
time.
games above up on top of each other.
Yeah, and I mean I think Danny made PR last time.
That sounds right. Yeah.
So I think like you have like a pretty good shot. And I think especially if you like shore up some of your weaknesses, it'll be really good. I think
Yeah.
one of the hardest things to do in melee is to like keep your same wave as the set goes.
Mm,
Um, and I think like there's like a couple steps of this where like I think you should focus on like first of all, what are you gonna do to beat the different moves, you know? And then be like, okay, now I play against some bad players, make sure it works against them, level it up to some better players, make sure it works against them. And then in
mm,
tournament, you can kind of be like, yeah, it works against them. That's great. But like and like that is a whole like extra step of like implementation. But even after you implement it in tournament, what you'll experience is like kind of what I was saying that like you do the stuff really well and then stop doing it. Like that'll just happen.
yeah.
And so
Yeah.
like I think what you'll need to do eventually is you'll need to have like a little arc, maybe like a couple weeks where you just focus on how well you did this stuff and ignore everything else.
Sure.
And so like when you're in tournament or whatever, it's just like how I do in this game is not a measure of winning or losing. It is entirely a measure of how well I stuck to doing this game plan.
Yeah.
And like that is your entire metric, and I think that might be necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Um just because I've noticed that you already kind of get thrown off your current plan a little bit. So
Sure.
like we're kind of fixing like the plan itself and trying to make that more effective, and we're trying to fix the fact that you kind of get thrown off.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that totally tracks. Oh,
Oh, there we go. Wait, I'm back.
got you. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, my microphone like just cut out. It just disconnected somehow for a second.
No worries.
Okay, so I want to watch this match back really quick,
Mhm.
and we'll just look for all the moments where you could have done a big counter, and then we'll go to the next. Actually, if you had one more Fox game, that'd be great. But like, let's just start by going through this, and we'll figure out what to do after that. But I
Okay.
think there's like a bunch of spots already that I see in here that like are pretty relevant. And so it's like, okay, right here, you already like we already established this would be a great power shield down smash, you
Down
know?
smash.
But I think even like as you hit this, your brain should be like, well, they're probably gonna drill me. You know, like what else are they gonna do here? And like as you're doing this fair, you should be planning the edge guard you're going to do after your power shield down smash hits.
Mm,
Like you
yeah.
should legitimately be like, because remember, it's not about just getting the big opening and then making the kill happen. You have to kind of start from the end point of like, ooh, I actually see like not necessarily you're starting at the end point, but always keeping the end point in mind. That like
Hmm.
as you're doing this fair, it's probably not going to do anything but drill. And I'm going to power shield down smash, and he's going to go off stage. What type of recovery is he going to do after that? You can be thinking that like
Yeah.
as you're doing this fair.
That's like 2 or 3 interactions ahead, but it feels like it's all stemming from. Yeah, that's all quite
It's
predictable.
just that like well you're sort of right here, and you're like okay either Fox. So like what are Fox's options here? Of like all right I'm gonna fair this Fox right here. Fox's
Hmm.
options here are he can get hit by the fair, sent off
Hmm.
stage, full hop out, probably gonna power shield drill, or like roll out, in which case I can probably react as I'm coming down. Like I can
Yeah.
react between roll and full hop as I'm landing.
Yeah.
And so just being aware that like this isn't a position of like did I hit Fox with the fair or not. The position actually goes to the next step of the interaction, and like you should be aware of that. Not like fully aware unless you're the world's greatest player ever, but you should at
Hmm.
least be somewhat aware that out of this position, if the fair doesn't hit, we have traps in mind.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, and so we
I,
got
I
oh,
had a
what's up?
question about that bit because I know for a fact that I was going for short hop back air,
Yeah.
but I don't. I also don't know if that was even necessarily the right call.
No, this was one of those spots where like you feel pressured to fight.
Yeah.
Um and I think that like okay, so we land here and we do this, we shield this. What's Fox gonna do here? This is what you need
Probably.
to be focused on in like every
Sure.
interaction is like what looks good to Fox here.
Hmm.
What looks good to him.
Oh, you're asking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shine, turnaround, grab, or like shine pressure of some kind. Shine back air, shine something.
Yeah, okay, so if he shine back airs or whatever, or even honestly shine turnaround grab, not that bad.
Yeah.
It's really not that bad. And so what you should be focusing on here is there a trick that I can use to get Fox from this position? I think going for I think if you wanted to do this sort of back air, I think what you could have done is say, okay, I think that Fox is going to wave shine out, which is a really common option. I would say that's the most common option here.
Yeah.
Is just wave shine away in this position. Then like you could say, okay, I'm gonna float afterward and then
Hmm.
hit late back air down smash right here on the wave dash away. Not maybe like a true punish on the wave dash away, but like just on his
Right.
positional, on his like a positional read type of thing. But like going for like a short hop back here, there's no best case. Like
Sure.
every time you interact with Fox, you need an evil plan. If there's no evil plan, that's a bad sign.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, it's just kind of how it is, because he's the power character, and you're the character who has to counter his power. Like, if you are the
Sure.
counter, if you're the counter guy, you know, like, okay, like, my sort of thought here is like, what if this was Laud and he just held his shield? Like,
Mm.
this is what I was saying is like, Laud, what if he just held his shield? Most of the time, he's not gonna get big punished, and Fox moves away, and then he goes, okay, I'm crouching now.
Yeah.
Are you gonna nair? Are you gonna drill? I'll power shield the drill. I'll wave dash back, down smash or drill. I'm actually I
Right.
have a little bit of space in the corner. Like you want to get like threatening the traps is more like it's way more important than just sort of going for something here that doesn't actually have like a real end goal. And that's
Sure.
like that's literally just the Laud point I was making, where it's like it's better to do kind of nothing there than do something like eh. It's better to like kind of chill and look for your big opportunity.
Like after I get that up area, you're saying?
No. I mean like the part where you're shielding. Like
Oh. Okay.
it's like better to just chill here and
Yeah.
like hold shield for 2 beats, wave dash back crouch, wave dash back shield would be like better.
Yeah.
Or even hold shield, wave dash back crouch, instant back air shield would
Hmm.
be like it's fine because you're like you're just not. exposing yourself as much to do like a very safe option like that. And it's like, well, I haven't figured out an evil plan yet, so I should probably just in general defend myself.
Mm.
I know it feels weird, but like that is exactly the type of spot that I was talking about that Laud was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Where like
Yeah.
it feels very unintuitive to kind of not really do anything there, but it's kind of good. um, okay, it looks like you went for a power shield here. You go for a power shield in this spot. Ignoring that scramble, I don't think that was very good. Like right here, looked like you went for like power shield, which was good. I just kind of want to point out like everything that Fox does here is like technically could be his stock if you were playing right. And so like just as an example, okay, Fox does this aerial. I think this could have been countered in several ways, like a grab. If you got a really good grab here, could have ended his stock. And that like the point is that like Fox can't do this. Like I can't do this against Laud and not just be terrified that I just gave up the whole stock.
Yeah.
Because if he's ready for it at all, I will die. And this is a really common Fox attack angle. And suddenly, like, I don't know, man. There's like a lot of spots where like, if you take this stock for Fox right here at 19% off of like a grab, it's really hard for Fox to actually win the game. Like if you get like a lead on Fox and stuff like that. Okay, let's look at the next position. He nairs. If you CC'd this, you got him. And if you shield it, shield it or nair it or whatever, it's not the worst thing. But if you CC'd this, it's over. And like you didn't it's like from this position, from right here, we don't really have anything. From this position, you should be checking if there's anything that looks really easy and juicy for Fox to go for, and then trying to counter it. Because from this range, you don't have pressure. You don't have anything on Fox from this range at all. Like if you do your little float nair like you did, who cares? What if he full hop? He's just going to drill you. It doesn't matter. You don't have anything to go on, and you don't have anything to threaten. Like, if Fox doesn't interact with this nair, did you gain anything? Like, no, not really.
No.
But, like, if you try to interact and you get naired here, it's just like, oh, no. Like, if Fox up-tilted here, this was suddenly the end of the world, whereas, like, you just did this nair with no information going in. It was just like, well, if Fox nairs me, maybe he'll trade and get knocked down, and I won't have a follow-up. Yeah. That is what the nair was. Like it's a very low value nair in general compared to looking for Fox trying to get you and giving you something big here. So it's like we already had that up air, could have been a kill. This nair could have been a kill. And the point I want to make here is not that you should be hitting all of these, but like maybe 1 out of 3.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so it's like, okay, and then all right, so that's 1. That's 2. Sure, let's get through this. That's 3. Like, out of this pressure here. There's only 2 things Fox is going to do here. Like, out of this spot. I mean, maybe he'll shine. Most of the time, they're either going to nair or they're going to drill. And you can kind of just pick one. And, like, you can beat drill a lot of times by just dashing out. So it's like, what if I dash out and then, like, dash to here and crouch? And it's like, okay, well, I would have just dodged this nair. But what if I decided to crouch instead? Suddenly, Fox is dead. And, like, none of those options required instant float nair. Like, so far, you could have just completely beaten this Fox by doing nothing but running around, crouching, and shielding. And then, like, grabbing him out of it. And it would be, like, 4 stocks to 2.
I feel like Aura is really good at that.
He is. So here I think we were in a spot where you can make an argument for this nair. Mostly that you have him cornered and he's at a high enough % to go off stage. Those are kind of the conditions for, like, suddenly my attacks are pretty good. Because you're like, well, you hit him with this nair, you have a big edge. You have a potential to kill out of this nair, which is what makes it valid. Whereas before, your only kill potentials were, like, CC, grab, down smash, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, from this position, if this fair or nair hits, you might kill out of this, which makes it a valid choice again. So it's not like that nair is always bad, but in the position, like, earlier this stock, where it wasn't going to get you anything, this is definitely, or, like, the first stock, this is definitely, like, significantly worse. It's not gonna send him off stage like that Nair. He's not in the corner. He's not gonna send him off stage. He's not like a high enough percent to kill him. Anything, and so you need to be going for your high value options, which are your counter hits. Okay, so get him off stage. Get the edge guard.
I committed too hard to that.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, you're good. And then, like, okay, even, like, right here, I think, like, okay, you hit this dash attack. This is not necessarily a spot where you want to hit Fox. Like, you don't, like, yes, he's in the corner. Yeah, you kind of want to pressure here, but, like, what is the Fox going to do? This Fox wants a drill combo on me so badly. Like, I am going to wait and see if he does something dumb. Like, I think that there's just... You're just not focused enough during this game on, like, the counterpunch nature of Peach, I think. And, like, sort of just being, like, dealing with Fox's attacks rather than your attacks. And I think once you have your attack, you're good. But you just can't get that until you're threatening, like... Fox is just not afraid of your defense. And that should be the scariest part of Peach. The offense on Peach is not the scary part. You know, it's only the scary part once you're afraid to attack her and she keeps slowly getting closer and closer.
Yeah, right.
But a grab there.
Really grab, yeah, exactly.
So what happens is, like... Yeah, so we're kind of playing, doing a bunch of, like, mid-value stuff. Get this. That would have been good. Okay, let's say we break right here. Okay, Nair's okay, I guess. Fair's a little bit of an overcommitment. Okay. I thought I had something I wanted to say about that section, but I don't think so.
I wonder if I put out a Nair or something. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I feel like Peach Fox at those percents there's just like a lot of spots where like Peach suffers in this matchup. And like I think if we can focus more on the traps into the big combos, the stocks like that will just be a little bit less relevant. I think a lot of Peaches kind of go through this arc as they get better where like they learn the sort of like counter punch reversal strategy type thing. And then, like, when you get good enough, you're kind of like, oh, at high percent, I can just shield all the time. Like, kind of. And I don't think that necessarily comes naturally, but I think as you get really good at, like, the counterplay, eventually you're like, well, at high percent, he doesn't really want to grab me. So, like, kind of good to just shield, like, all the time. But I wouldn't worry. I don't think you should worry too much about that part of the game, like, right now.
Sure.
What were you gonna say?
No, just the shield thing. It's something that I've talked a lot to Kirby Kaze about, and he says the same exact thing. Just like high percent shield a lot.
Mm-hmm. And it's just that you have the exact same plan of the defense plan. It's just that Fox's offense has gotten a lot worse. Yeah, like what was this? Like, what are you doing? What is this Nair wave dash back down tilt? Like what? What was that? What was that gonna do? Like what?
I guess I was trying to pop him up, but that spacing that down tilt, I don't know. I don't know.
It's more so just that like what? Remember which move of Fox's was that gonna counter, or was it going to counter Fox just doing a really bad aerial?
Yeah.
And like landing right in front of you, like it kind of goes in layers. Okay, this is a little abstract. I haven't really described this concept before. But it's kind of like... sorry, give me one second. Alright, I've almost got it. Can you remind me of the last thing I said right before I said that? I feel like I have it, but I can't, like, 100% grab it.
We were talking about...
Yeah. Okay, I got it. It was saying that, like, you should assume, more often than not, that Fox's aerials will be successful. That, like, he will connect, he will space it correctly, he will get to your position correctly. and we need to just focus on which move to counter and how we're going to counter it. And I think that, like, because that is sort of like the hardest core layer of everything, and then, like, you know, if we're busy trying to counter Fox for hitting us and he lands in front of us instead, the same plan is still going to work, but easier. Whereas, like, the down tilt is like, well, it works if Fox misspaces his aerial, and if he doesn't, I lose. So you're sort of, like, relying on, like, Fox to kind of be worse there, or do an opening that doesn't have as much value.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Whereas, like,
banking on them to make a mistake, that kind of is like creating, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot, I guess.
Yeah, because, like, if you're right here and you're crouching here, this is a power shield down smash. Like, on this weak nair, for sure. Just quick power shield down smash. But because you had already kind of committed to this down tilt with this idea, like, you had the idea of the spacing and the spacing in mind that they might miss, but not including which move you were going to counter. And that's why I was saying, like, it has to be at the forefront of, like, I got to counter the thing they're going to do, because it will probably work. And I need to be ready to counter it.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I've kind of talked enough about that. I want to try to focus on more, like, where we go from here for the last few minutes.
Sure.
Okay, let me think for a second. What is the best way to go about this?
Oh no, that jab hurts so much.
The what?
That jab that the Fox got.
Oh, yeah.
That hurts.
High percent in the air against Fox jab is just terrifying. Okay. There's a few things. There's a few things to go over. Do you know how to set up replays in Uncle Punch?
Yeah, I only know how to do it with first player. I don't know how to do it with, like, both characters.
Well, you can you can record on your end, but not their end or whatever.
Yeah, like, I know how to set up. I guess I know how to set up one character at a time, but I don't know how to make it where, like, both characters are, like, doing stuff. If that makes sense.
You don't need to worry about both characters. You just need to set up Fox to do stuff and then punish.
Sure.
it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know how to do that.
But I think, like, practicing a little bit of power shield down smash, like, just have Fox drill at you, nair at you, full hop weak nair, short hop drill from dash distance, full hop drill, short hop nair from dash distance. Just practice hitting that.
Yeah.
I think practice CC grab, practice CC down smash, practice. I think CC, like, CC dash JC grab or CC dash grab is a really good one to practice. Not as much because that's the option you're going to be using all the time every day, but more so that it forces you to have this, like, they hit my crouch, immediately punish. Whereas, like, if you're practicing, like, CC down smash, a lot of times it's just like hold down and after they hit me ish down smash, I guess. Like, down smash is, like, a lot more mashable in that way. So I think, like, practicing the basic CC into grab, practicing power shield into down smash, practice jumping into drill, down smashing out of it, or jumping into drill, grabbing out of it. Practice floating into shine and down smashing. Just focus on each of Fox's main options of, like, drill, nair, and shine. Mostly drill and nair, I think, are the most important ones to practice. And just get it into your hands how to deal with that. And then in the games that you play, try to make those situations happen, like, more. Like, come into a match on unranked, like, this guy's gonna get power shield down smashed and CC grabbed, like, a lot.
Sure.
And I think once you kind of get that down just in your hands a little bit, then you can start focusing on, like, okay, I'm looking at this position while I go over my VOD, and it looks like Fox wants this option. Then I see Fox do that option, and I don't do the counterplay that I know. Because then it just comes like, well, I know how to counter all of Fox's moves. And so
Right.
I just need to like insert the counters into the right spots. So first we get the actual countering into our hands, we make sure we can do it, and then we focus on like increasing the number of positions that we do it in. Um, so I think that sort of countering is big, and that's like one thing that you should work on implementing.
Great.
I think the other thing you can sort of work on in the background is like counting the number of times you interact during a game where a combo couldn't happen even in the best case.
Mm.
So like when you did that back air, or you did that nair over here, you want to be like, okay, if this hits in the absolute best case and I didn't have a combo doing it, then I might want to make a rule. Like you might want to say, if I am in center stage with Fox where my nair won't send him off stage and I won't be able to combo off the nair, because at 0 the nair kind of combos, nair down smash or nair grab or something at 0 pretty much combo. But like nair at like 40 from center, you're getting nothing. You'll never get anything off of that. And so like if it doesn't give you a punish and you interact with Fox, you should probably take a look and be like, okay, how can I break that down so I know what to avoid? Like I now know to avoid random float nair in neutral against Fox at 40 when I don't have a combo out of it, and be like, what would be some better options to do there? And like the goal is essentially we're going to practice the better game plan, or essentially practice better sequences that you haven't been using the counterplay of like the CC and the power shield more. And then using the fact that we have better tools there to like increase our knowledge of what Fox might do and get better at actually counter hitting. Because it's like we get the execution for the counter hitting, we practice the positions for the counter hitting, and then we can work on like. And then the third thing that I said of watching the VOD is like removing the inefficiencies from your play. Of like, oh, I didn't do the good thing there that led to the punish there. And I think there are a bunch of other little weaknesses in your play. I noticed with like the edge guarding. The edge guarding was definitely weaker than it could have been. I think there's some like reaction points you can work on there. I think like there were certain combos that I feel like could have been a little bit better, but I feel like those just aren't the main thing that are holding you back right now. Because I've seen you do crazy combos. I've seen you do crazy edge guards. We can get the rate on those up for a bit, but I think the main issue is that you're doing a bunch of kind of like inefficient stuff and playing a bunch of positions that like you don't really need to be doing, and like Peach has better ways to approach that spot. And like I think once you get this down enough that you like, all you really need is one time against a good player. I mean, you kind of felt it against Glasper, you know what I mean? But like, if you could get that feeling against Glasper, but very intentionally, based on the stuff you practiced, where you can feel, man, he's so scared to attack me. You know what? Drill. Like, I bet you're gonna drill here, and you kill him again, and you get that feeling, I think it'll just stick forever. So I think we're trying to build it up from like 3 different angles until you can kind of get that feeling in like a tournament match where they are afraid to hit you, and this has given you a lot of power, and it's because you specifically countered a few of their things already. I think you'll just it'll hopefully line up, and then from that point on it'll be like, you should have hit this punish better. Like, you got the CC grab, but you did the wrong punish out of it, or you got this one edge guard because you did the nair in the spot that always leads to the edge guard, but we missed the edge guard. It'll be a lot like we can close up those issues once we've sort of fixed like the big general inefficiency issue.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. That gives me a lot of great stuff to think about.
And awesome. I think, and there's definitely like we can go over like other matchups and stuff later. I actually think this is kind of like the most important Peach matchup to learn.
Yeah, for sure.
As a side note, I think that having a very high APM in this matchup is very helpful. Just as a side note, I think that we don't need to really worry about it right for the moment. It's just more so something I'm like, I don't want you to have to come back to me after this and you have it and you're like, well, I'm like sitting there and I'm like, waiting for him to nair because I'm crouching,
Yeah,
but
for
now
sure,
I'm
for
too
sure.
passive. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, you
Yeah,
want to be like, you try the trap. If it doesn't work, keep pressing buttons and go for the next trap. Don't just like
yeah.
kind of sit there waiting.
No, that
Just
makes sense.
wanted to throw that out in case you ran into that issue. Um, but okay, yeah, we're about at an hour. Do you have any final questions or thoughts from here?
Um, I think that's a pretty good place. I mean, the only thing is just like, do you think that actually maybe this is a bigger question. I guess the question is like, do you think that how your opponent sort of perceives your skill level matters, or is that just there's no point in thinking about that sort of thing because it's just like it comes down to how you're both playing?
In matters to what?
Like, um, like going it like if I'm a top player and I'm playing against a person who I know has heard of me but doesn't have the skill, then you can sort of ride that wave. I've experienced that on the other side, right? Like I play a really, really good player and they know I know who they are and like they know I'm intimidated before we even start playing, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I guess the answer is like it probably doesn't matter. It's like you should spend more time thinking about the game. I just like as a person who doesn't go to a lot of shit, I guess I sometimes am curious like what do people think when I randomly show up? They're like, is this going to be easy? Is it going to be hard? Or is it just like a random random thing?
Um, I think when you show up, you're just kind of you're in our big fat decent tier of like
Sure.
you're in like the Danny Wyatt. It's just that whole tier is like everybody.
Yeah.
Like all
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
players or good-ish players are all kind of in that tier together. And so when
Yeah.
you show up, it's kind of like, hey, like breakfast
Here's
showed
another one.
up. Maybe you're a little bit better than breakfast, or maybe, but it's like pretty close. And like
Sure.
I mean, yeah, and I think like yes, like there's a lot we could go into in terms of like respect and stuff like that of like how people are gonna play, but that's more about winning under tournament conditions, you know. And
Mm,
I think
yeah.
I'm like much. It's like if like doesn't matter which sport. Like if the other team has way better mechanics than you, it's kind of
Mhm.
hard to like scheme on your victory.
Right.
And
Right.
so it's like we're for now, let's just focus on the mechanics. I think like you can be like, well, they know I'm worse than them, so maybe they'll do this disrespectful nair and I'll kill them for
Right.
it.
Right.
Like I think sometimes against good players, if you have good stuff, you'll get a few stocks for free because they won't be respecting you enough. And that'll
Sure.
force them to respect you. But usually, I generally don't think it's that big of a deal. It does affect tournament results a lot. It is a big deal, but not to how good you are at the game. And right now, we just
Right.
need to get you better at the game.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense.
But yeah, if you come by more, we would love it. We don't really have any peaches right now, so
Hell yeah. I'm
you
planning
know.
on coming tomorrow.
Oh, let's go. That's super hype. I'm glad I will see you there.
Hell yeah.
And good talking, man. And
Yeah. Thank you. This was
if
great.
you have any like clips or thoughts later, feel free to send them over, and we'll talk more soon.
Cool. Sounds good.
Great. Have a good one.
Thanks. You too.
Peace.